So I said to Pat, how good are you at catching things, Pat? And she said, oh, yes, yes.
So why can't I do it when Hyacinth's here?
Elizabeth!
While Roy Clark created Elizabeth simply to be intimidated by Hyacinth, her sisters Rose and Daisy and brother-in-law Onslow were designed to embarrass Hyacinth by reminding her of exactly where she came from.
We were the slobs, and Hyacinth was snob.
Wait a minute.
Daisy, again, another wonderful creation by Judy Cornwell, of a child bride with her hopes of romance.
You're so attractive to women.
I'm work-shy, bone-idle and out of condition. What makes you think I'm attractive to women?
I married you, didn't I?
And I found this wonderful grey cardigan, which was awful. It was out of shape. It was something you could sleep in or wrap round a dog. And I said, oh, no, that's the one. That's the one I love. That's her cardigan, her favourite one.
Now, you'll not find this in your romantic novels. But if you're going to wear a see-through nightie, don't wear a vest.
I think one of my favourite characters in the show was Onslow. I mean, Geoffrey Hughes was marvellous as that Onslow, and his relationship with his wife became very, very popular. But again, he was designed to embarrass Hyacinth and couldn't have been more effective at it.
Morning, Onslow.
Don't say good morning to him when I've just been savaged by his dog.
Less noise, you daft bitch. And that goes for you as well, dog.
In Series 2, Roy Clark introduced David Griffin as the faint-hearted Emmett, Elizabeth's brother.
She's been singing at me, Liz.
He was someone for Hyacinth both to look up to and fondly imagine herself the social equal of.
We're invited to a candlelight supper tonight.
Well, that was inevitable.
He loved his music and he loved his job as a music teacher. He was also running the local amateur operatic society. And if there was one thing that Hyacinth would have liked to have been, or was aiming at, was being the leading light of the amateur operatic society.
He gave a wonderful extra lift to the series so that she had somebody, she had to woo him in some way or other to get what she wanted. She couldn't browbeat him into it.
I'd be caught hiding behind a screen or behind the bushes. She would never actually say that I was trying to avoid her. I mean, it was because I was so shy.
Was that Emmett? He must have forgotten something in the house.
No, dear. I'm afraid it's me. I rather think I send his senses reeling. Dear Emmett.
With Keeping Up Appearances steamrollering on its merry way, the winning team of Roy Clark and Harold Snowd combined on another BBC sitcom starring Tony Britton, Susan Hampshire and Caroline Quentin. But despite its pedigree and classic sitcom title, Don't Tell Father just didn't have that special something.
Where's Garth?
Behind the sofa.
What's he doing?
Meditating. Trying to remember his song.
That never totally took off, but it was fun to do.
It's still not clear why some things happen and others don't. The same amount of energy goes into them, but if it doesn't hit that spot, you've not got a winner.
Oh! No, doily!
Keeping Up Appearances clearly was a winner, and if the BBC had got its way, it might still be running today. But in 1995, the show stopped dead in its tracks.
I know! Emmett, you can play, and we'll all sing sea shanties.
Keeping Up Appearances came to an end because Patricia, to be perfectly frank, wanted to move on to do something else.
I decided to part company with Hyacinth because there were other adventures to have. I'm an actor and I like to play other roles.
First on the list of adventures was a trip into Miss Marpleshire, as Patricia Routledge swapped Hyacinth for Hetty Wainthropp, the 60-something crime buster. and in between regular returns to the theatre, she appeared on television in the second helping of Alan Bennett's Talking Heads.
She didn't want to simply end her career by being known as Hyacinth Bouquet, because she'd made it so much her own, obviously. And so I take my hat off to her in that respect. I know that Harold was extremely disappointed because, in a way, to cut a thing off in its prime almost.
I told you, they're going away.
But the other thing is, of course, to go out kind of on top at one's peak.
That was quite a send-off. We must never move, dear. We'd be greatly missed.
I don't think the other cast members were thrilled silly that they weren't going to do any more, because they all enjoyed it, they loved the parts, and they obviously were glad to be part of a success. But without the star, what could you do, really?
We all knew it could go on, and we knew the BBC wanted it to go on, but we knew Pat didn't want to do any more, and so everybody was sort of waiting to see what happened.
I think for a while they were hanging on, hoping Patricia would change her mind and come back and do more. So I don't think they wanted to tackle anything that might get in the way of that. And then by the time that it dawned that she was serious and that she wasn't coming back, it had become too late, I think.
Roy Clark still had a few more drops of summer wine to squeeze out, and the show enjoyed a guest appearance from Josephine Tewson.
He promised me marriage.
No, I never said marriage. I may have said garage. Would you excuse us a minute?
Oh, he's so strong when he's roused. I call him my Hercules.
Clive Swift starred in The Aristocrats before going back into the church in 2002 as Reverend Brewer in the BBC's Born and Bred.
The man of the cloth, you have the look of the devil.
The Lord moves in mysterious ways his wonders to perform.
Before appearing regularly in Heartbeat, the nation's favourite slob, Geoffrey Hughes, changed his vest but not much else to play Twiggy in the royal family.
Wash and go. You know, the stuff in the ad where that bird washes and pisses off. Well, it's the genuine stuff, only it's got a Arabic writing on it. 50p a bottle.
No, thanks.
Oh, please yourself.
No, go on then, Twiggy. I'll have 2 quid's worth.
I'll tell you what, as you're my best-looking customer, I'll chuck in a box of panty pads. How's that?
Right.
Since finishing up in 1995, Keeping Up Appearances has found a new audience abroad, becoming an unexpected worldwide hit as it flies the flowery flag.
Are you sure you're playing the night note? I suppose Irving knew what he was doing.
And it is huge in America at the moment, because I think the Americans think that Hyacinth is the typical British middle-class lady.
But then you've got Israel loving it, India loving it, China loving it.
I believe it's sold in over 45 countries.
I'm very big in Botswana, you know. I love saying that.
Went to battle with someone's heard of. Can't keep it going faster. Look, you told me he'd been certificated.